What's up everybody, it's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video I'm going to be killing Pyro Pete, the Ultra Invincible, at Overpower level 8, using the legendary Jakobs Sniper Rifle, the Skullmasher. What I'm going to do to start is knock off Pete's face shield using the Trespasser. Once I've knocked off his face shield, I will pick up my Chaotic Neutral Rogue Comm, which boosts my fire rate and magazine size. This will make it easier to stack critical ascension. If I had not used the Trespasser to knock off his face shield, I would not be able to score critical hits or build critical ascension, which would make this task much more difficult. While right now the Skullmasher is not doing very much damage, I am going to build my critical ascension stacks to the point where it will. Now during the phase of the fight before you have depleted Pete's shield, he's fairly docile and not really that dangerous because each Nova he does will only be one element or the other. He starts with corrosive and then goes to fire, and then back to corrosive, then fire, and so on, just alternating in a pattern like that. And so I started the fight with the Alkaline B shield when he did his first Nova, and then I'm actually full on inventory so that when I went and picked up the Inflammable B shield, I dropped my Alkaline B shield again. So that once he does his Inflammable, or his, I guess, Fire Nova, not Inflammable Nova, when he does his Fire Nova, I will wear the Inflammable shield. And then after he's done this Fire Nova, which is happening now, I will go ahead and switch back to the Alkaline Shield so that I will be able to tank his third Nova, which will be, again, corrosive. And I'm just going to do this while I build up to over 100 stacks of critical ascension using the Skullmasher, so that I'll definitely have enough damage to kill Pete once it is time. I am using the Skullmasher to build stacks right now. It has a decent fire rate for a Jakobs gun. I'm using it with the Jakobs grip and damage prefix, so you could obviously use a fire rate prefix and Vladoff grip to achieve a higher fire rate if you were trying to get critical ascension quicker, I guess. However, you know, I think the Jakobs grip and damage prefix will work out well in the end, because it will give us the most amount of base damage in order for the critical ascension stacks to boost that base damage, and make it really, really high. You'd like to start with a, relatively high base damage to begin with. And so that was long-winded and overly, overpronounced there, and I apologize for that, but basically my intent is to have a high base damage so that once I have a bunch of critical ascension stacks, I'll tear through Pete pretty quickly. And since I figured, this first stage of the fight wouldn't be very dangerous at all, I would take advantage of the higher base damage Skullmasher as opposed to the higher fire rate Skullmasher, because I'm in no particular hurry at this point in the fight. Again, just using the different immunity B shields to go ahead and tank basically all of his offense. He runs at you slower than you can backpedal, so you never really have to worry about Pete catching up with you, unless you actually get too far away and he jumps at you. But, if you keep a close enough distance, he'll just do this slow jog at you. Now I'm beginning to acquire quite a few critical ascension stacks, and so after this next Nova I'll probably try to go ahead and deplete his shield and then begin depleting his health. Once I've depleted his shield, I'll try to keep him slagged a lot better. I was purposely not using my slag transfusion grenades as to build critical ascension stacks higher without depleting his shield. So I'm going to go ahead and push him a little bit lower now. Looks like I have well over 100 stacks at this point. Let me make sure on that. I'm watching the video in small preview. Yeah, I have well over 100, 135, and counting down now. We're going to go ahead and deplete his shield. We'll hide behind the scaffolding in order to tank this Nova so that we don't catch it. However, that does not work, and I do actually catch a corrosive damage over time. I wasn't quick enough getting behind the scaffolding there, so I will have to wash off this corrosive damage over time. This is Overpower level 8, and damage over time can be quite damaging and can put you down pretty quickly. And in this fight, where you don't have anything to second wind off of, except for Pete himself, assuming you haven't opened a valve, that's something you definitely want to avoid. So unfortunately I had to open the valve there, but I was able to wash off. Luckily these spiders are very weak in the first time you open the fountain there. So they'll be able to die just to grenades, just to kunai, or definitely to a sniper rifle shot with this amount of critical ascension. Now because I had waited just a minute to go ahead and pull the valve to open that little water trigger, I was able to wash off 2 separate Novas within 1 water cycle. And that worked out well for me so that I didn't have to pull the water valve again and get even more spider ants, which would eventually disrupt my B shield and possibly throw off my aim against Pete. Now I have Pete right where I want him. He's slagged. I have over 100 stacks of critical ascension. Well, now he's slagged. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish him off. So I do thank you guys very much for watching. I had got a request for me to kill Pete with the Skullmasher without pre-stacking or using a Vladoff gun during the fight to stack. So I do appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. I'd appreciate that. I'll be sure to show you my gear and skill build here in a minute. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye guys.